The Storm Within, Chapter 2. By the time Fox had gotten to the hangar, the others had already entered their R-wings and were starting their engine warm-up cycles. He approached his own ship, distinguishable by a long burn mark beneath the left wing, where Wolf O'Donnell had almost blasted it off during a dogfight. Thinking of his old rival, Fox gave it an uneasy feeling. It had been years since that final battle on Venom. Wolf would always use one move, a type of corkscrew maneuver, against which Fox had never quite learned to defend himself. It didn't matter anymore, however, because Wolf was long gone. Fox still didn't know if he had killed the lupine in the end, and the uncertainty bothered him to this day. He could have easily removed the dark land across the ship so many years later, but he never got quite around to doing it. Though strange, he actually liked the thought of preserving this last memory of his nemesis. He hopped into the open cockpit and pulled down the hatch, the familiar silence of the vacuum-sealed cabin greeting him immediately. He buckled himself in and began to manipulate a complex sequence of buttons and dials. He thought back to that first mission, when he still had trouble remembering which buttons to press and in what order. To begin standard startup procedures. Now, years of experience guided his hands across the controls in a familiar pattern. As Fox turned on his comm, he unknowingly stepped into a heated debate between Falco and Slippy. Would be crazy not to use a full loop to get behind them and have at 'em from there. Yeah, but you can't do that in a tunnel, Falco. If you were in a tunnel, you'd hit the ceiling and crash your R-wing. Maybe you would, Froggy. I'm sure you would too, Birdbrain. Nobody can do a loop in such a small space. Barrel rolls are the only valid evasive maneuver. Barrel rolls, huh? Peppy's voice came into the conversation. The only things rolling were Fox's eyes as he listened to the bickering, and he continued his startup procedures. The displays had all come up and the engines had whirred to life. The R-wing was almost ready for takeoff. I have to agree with Slippy here, Falco. A loop would be impossible in a tunnel of that size. I swear I could do it. I'll prove it to you guys next time we're at a tunnel. And ruin a perfectly good R-wing? Certainly not, my feathered friend. Crystal's voice silenced them. We can continue this conversation later. Are we all ready for departure? All systems nominal. Clear for takeoff. Fox confirmed. One by one, the others repeated his words in a familiar fashion. The hare's voice came in last. All right, everybody. We need to keep the great Fox here as to keep our arrival secret. The large door in front of them began to rise dramatically. White light from outside slowly flooded the hangar as Peppy continued. Base 1MG-4Y is 70 kilometers north of our current position. Let's go in there and neutralize these thieves as quickly as possible. He paused momentarily as the door came to a stop and the entire hangar was filled to the brim with brilliant, blinding sunlight. Good luck. And with those words the team departed. They left the hangar through the open door, one by one, as if the lights of the snowy skies was beckoning them like moss to a street lamp. Despite Fox's years of experience with all types of spacecraft, nothing gave him the same thrill as piloting an R-wing did. Its speed and responsiveness couldn't be beaten, and by this point, Fox was as comfortable with the blue and gray ship as he was using his own arms and legs. As the final member to leave, his R-wing floated out of the docking bay and glided towards the planet's icy surface, as if it were the last leaf of fall floating towards the snow of an early winter. As they descended through the thick clouds, the comm crunched with Falco's voice. Man, is Facina always this windy? Fox noticed it too. Flurries of snow danced around his ship ominously, as if trying to summon a storm through ritual. The team flew on as Falco and Slippy continued their debate between barrel rolls and loops. After about 30 seconds, Fox decided he had had enough and turned off the comm. After a few minutes of peace, his comm went off again. He let it ring for a few moments before answering in annoyance. What is it? Fox, are you alright? It was Crystal. It's not like you to turn the comm off during a mission like this. Crystal had always been more perceptive of Fox's well-being than the others. Fox responded reassuringly. I'm fine, I just need a moment to regroup my thoughts and without the constant background noise. The truth was that he wasn't really fine. Inexplicably, anxiety had been bothering him since he had woken up that morning, but he couldn't quite put his finger on the issue, let alone explain it to Crystal. If she didn't believe him, she didn't make it apparent. Alright, just making sure you're okay. Thanks, Crystal. I'll be joining back in once we get closer. Talk to you then. The comm was silent again. Fox decided to fly above the rest of his team and up through the clouds, using his radar to guide himself. Nothing could calm Fox better than a peaceful ride in his R-wing, free from distraction. 45 minutes into his relaxing flight, the base began to approach his position on the radar. He turned his comm back on much sooner than he would have liked to, only to be warmly greeted by Falco. "Welcome back, Fox. Enjoy your alone time up there?" he asked, mockingly. Fox responded in kind. "I did. Anything beats that loop in a tunnel nonsense you two were going on about." "See, even Fox thinks doing a loop in a tunnel is ridiculous," Slippy interjected. "He never said that. Maybe it's nonsense because you think you should do a barrel roll." Fox cut them off. "Ladies, please, you're both pretty." Falco and Slippy were both ready to dish out snarky responses before Crystal interrupted them. "Guys, I think I see the base." Fox descended below the cloud cover, scouting the now visible land below. Situated in a small valley to his right, he spotted a metal structure resembling barracks. It stuck out of the horizon like a boat in a still lake, offering refuge from an otherwise unbroken landscape. She continued, "Following your lead." "All right, everybody." Fox took a deep breath. "Let's go." He eased his R-wing towards the base, flipping some switches as he approached a comfortable speed. He held a button on his mouthpiece and began to speak. "Calling base 1MG-4Y. Base 1MG-4Y. This is Fox McCloud. Do you copy?" A moment of silence passed, after which he received a response. "Fox? The Fox McCloud?" Fox rolled his eyes. "It happens every time." As the years went by, he wished more and more that people would stop giving him the attention that he truly didn't want at all. The voice continued, "It's great to hear from you. Thank you for responding to our signal." The voice sounded like a young man, nervous but grateful. "Not a problem," Fox responded as politely as he could. "Now, we heard these robberies were somewhat unconventional." Yes, it's the strangest thing," the young man continued. "They've come about twice a week for the last month or so. They take neither guns nor ammunition. All they take is food and medical supplies, and other daily essentials." There was a pause. "In fact, they were just about to come back, but ended up turning around and leaving right before you all came." Fox's ears perked. "Right before you came, you say?" Yes, it was very strange. They never changed their mind like that before." Fox felt uneasy as the man continued. "I wonder if they knew you were coming?" The man's thoughts were interrupted by Falco's voice. Guys, I see something." "Where?" "Up north, look." From above, the valley's edge approached a lone black ship. The man gasped, his voice suddenly hysterical. "There they are! That's them! Don't let them come back!" As the man continued to stammer, another ship of equal size and shape followed the first one, as did two more. The four ships arranged themselves into a tight diamond as they approached the R-wings. "What's the plan, Fox?" The frog's voice was full of tension. "Do you think they're gonna attack us?" Falco was quick to comment. "Let's not wait around to find out." Fox tried to calm the two. "Wait, let's first try to establish a comm link with them. Maybe we can talk them out of whatever they're planning to do." He was interrupted by a flash of red light streaking by not 3 meters from his wing. The black ships had begun to attack. "Oh, I don't think that's an option anymore," Falco barked as his team scattered in an attempt to escape the lasers. Fox darted forward and flicked some switches, the wings of his R-wing folding into attack mode as he prepared for combat. From then on, chaos ensued. 2 of the black ships began to chase Falco, who in response began to fly in large, evasive circles. Crystal trailed one of Falco's pursuers, shaking them from her path through a series of blue laser shots. A red laser grazed Crystal's ship as her target unexpectedly turned and returned fire. She let out a yelp of surprise through the comm as she spun elusively. Immediately, Fox was following Crystal's pursuer before the Vulpine fired a few shots and dealt some damage himself. The enemy ship shook and spun, eventually regaining its trajectory, but damaged nonetheless. Falco was still being followed. The bird looped briskly, following behind his pursuer before unleashing a barrage of blue lasers, of which only one actually connected. The shot ended up tearing off part of the black ship's upper wing. Upon further inspection, Fox noted that the ships were very, very similar to R-wings in both size and shape, though the wings and body were slightly longer and more narrow. Not only did the proportions give the ships a wasp-like appearance, but it also made it difficult to successfully hit them with the R-wing's laser cannons. Once a laser found its target, however, it was apparent that these waspy ships were significantly weaker than their own R-wings. Slippy got in front of Fox, desperately trying to lose his pursuer, and when Crystal intercepted the black ship, which lost much of its control after sustaining only 2 laser shots. Fox's ship shook as a flash of red light streaked by, not a meter from his left wing. One of the 2 remaining ships was on his tail. He began navigating an eccentric and unpredictable line of flight, but his pursuer was following close behind, like an unwelcome guest. Stormy gusts of snow and wind ambushed Fox's R-wing from the front, while flashes of red came from behind. He tried every evasive maneuver he could, zigzags, barrel rolls, loop, all to no avail. The black ship continued to plague his rearview sensors. He wouldn't be able to shake him off without some backup. "Slippy, help me get rid of this one," Fox called into the comm. The amphibian's voice wavered in response. "I'm trying! He just won't give up on you!" Fox looked behind him and saw that both Falco and Slippy were trying to get the black ship off his tail, but the pilot was expertly evading each and every blue laser which came his way. "This pilot sure is skilled. I'll give him that. See if you can both come at him from opposite sides, then I'll try a double loop to get him in front. We'll do our best. Ready, Falco?" "On your signal," Bert assured him as he assumed a position opposite his teammate. "Now!" The two R-wings began to fire from both sides, forcing their target to slam full throttle ahead amidst flashes of blue. Fox swiftly hoisted his ship upward, then let it float in free fall for a moment before sweeping down to his original position. Their plan had worked. The black ship was now in front of them, dodging lasers with almost incomprehensible speed and agility. Crystal's voice was on the line now. "I need your help with this one." Fox was first to reply. "Crystal, what's your status?" She gasped. I just got hit. It looks like one of my left laser cannons is out. The enemies are more skilled than we had originally thought." "Falco, Slippy, go and help Crystal. Bring that one down or I'll take care of this guy." "Are you sure, pal?" Falco sounded surprised. "This one's caused you so much "I've got it from here," Fox interrupted. "Now go help her." After a moment, the two grudgingly obeyed. Fox hadn't had a challenge like this in years, and it was honestly quite thrilling. It was as if every time he thought he'd pinned his foe down, the pilot somehow knew exactly what to do to regain his advantage. But after using every trick in the book, Fox had finally gotten the enemies in his sights and was back to lock on to his target. What the pilot did next astonished Fox. The black ship turned as if it were about to make a hard left, to which Fox responded by aiming his R-wing accordingly. However, at the last second it ended up spiraling up above and behind, leading Fox right into the line of fire. He didn't even have time to comprehend what had happened, until two flashes of red tore his ship's right wing, spinning him twice around before his G-diffuser distress system kicked in. His ship abruptly jerked to a stop as the diffusers began the recalibration process to account for the missing pieces of wing. He cursed his bad luck. It would be a full minute before he'd be able to even move again at all, what with so much of his wing gone. Panic coursed through him as he realized there was no way he could win this fight now. It seemed as if his enemy didn't expect Fox's sudden stop and only narrowly avoided colliding with his R-wing from behind. In a swift change of fate, the enemy's evasive maneuver brought them straight into Fox's sight and gave Fox the perfect opportunity to aim his remaining laser cannon at the enemy. He took a deep breath and pulled the trigger. The laser collided with the enemy ship with a spectacular flash of blue light and a blast which Fox could even hear through his cockpit. It was a direct hit. The Wasp-like spacecraft did a full side spin before it began to lose altitude, the pilot desperately trying to regain control. However, it seemed the damage to his ship was too expensive to offer retreat. Tendrils of flame and coils of smoke emanated from the engines as the doomed craft spiraled towards the ground, as if in slow motion. The ship slammed into the snow, tearing off another wing and bouncing once more before it slid headfirst into a nearby snowdrift. Upon seeing their teammate's vehicle shot to the ground, the last black ship immediately ceased fire upon Crystal and began to flee as quickly as possible, climbing up and behind the valley wall. For a moment there was only stunned silence. Falco was the first to cut through it. "Whoo-hoo-wee! Man, that was awesome!" Slippy began to laugh. "Did you see that barrel roll I did?" "I'm more interested in that fancy move your guy pulled on you, Fox." Now that he thought about it, Falco was right. It wasn't often that he was outsmarted by an enemy pilot, but today he was completely blindsided by that maneuver. He would have to figure out how to counteract it in future combat situations. He pressed his hand to his mouthpiece. "Base 1 MG-4Y, what's your status?" The young man sounded breathless. "That was... we're okay, oh my goodness." He took a deep breath. "That was terrifying. I can't believe that just... oh my goodness." Fox cut in. "I don't think you'll be seeing those thieves for a while now. It seems they've learned their lesson." The others began to discuss their mission cheerfully, but Fox's attention was drawn towards the black ship on the ground. The flames from the engine were now spreading to the rest of the spacecraft. He was surprised to see the hatch swing open through which his enemy appeared. The pilot's dark green jumpsuit was torn all over and his helmet had suffered some cracks along the front. He crawled out of the craft, flopping into the snow and staggering a few steps before collapsing once more. Fox watched him for a few moments, but the figure did not make another move. He wondered about this enemy. He was one of the most skilled pilots Fox had fought in years. He must have learned from the best of the best. "Fox, are you alright down there?" Peppy's voice was anxious over the comm. "I'm fine. Some of our ships sustained considerable damage, though. I think you're going to have to come pick us up." He looked into the horizon where the sun was beginning to sink dangerously low in the sky. Had the mission really taken so long? "I'm just glad you're all okay. I'll begin navigation towards your position immediately. Those thieves won't be coming back, huh?" "Well, I doubt it," he responded. He looked towards the lifeless figure in the snow again. If Achina's days were cold, its nights were truly fatal. He couldn't just leave the pilot there. That kind of talent didn't deserve to freeze to death in the middle of a snowstorm. "Hey, Peppy, what is it?" He wasn't sure how to explain the situation. "I shot one of the fighters to the ground. He was just lying there in the snow. I think we should try to rescue him." Peppy was silent for a moment. "Fox, you know how dangerous taking enemies can be." I know. I don't need to be reminded, but it's different. This was the best pilot I've fought in years. I need to know who he is and how he became so skilled." "Look, Fox. You know what he pulled on me just now? It was like a roll, but with some sort of hairpin at the end. He completely blindsided me." The hare wasn't quite convinced. "Regardless of how well he flew, do you really think it's worth the risk of going down to the surface to pick him up? Do you realize how dangerous it is to have an enemy aboard your ship?" Fox was becoming impatient. "I'm telling you, this pilot showed more skill than I've encountered in years, Peppy. Years. We can't just let that kind of talent go to waste. We need to get the great Fox over here and take him in before it's too late." Peppy paused for a moment, then let out a sigh. "All right, ETA 40 minutes. Another silence. "I just hope you know what you're getting into." "There's nothing to worry about, I promise. Thanks, Peppy." Fox began to ease his ship towards the wreckage, but missing half of his wing rendered his R-Wing's movements tedious and unpredictable. He didn't want to risk the extra weight of another passenger. He would need another ship. "Hey, guys." Fox addressed the rest of his team over the comm. "Could someone give me a hand here?" "Huh? Are you okay?" Slippy sounded surprised. Fox realized the frog had been preoccupied defending Crystal and didn't see the enemy pilot escape his burning ship in the snow below. "I'm fine. That pilot that almost killed me, though? We're going to rescue him."